It's a good day. It's a good day today to be a dad, to be whatever it is that you are, right? As long as it's a positive thing. Um, you know, I have an opportunity um, of a lifetime as being a dad to impact the generation for years to come. Uh, if Christ doesn't come back any sooner than that, and I cherish those days, these days, um, in the utmost because I realize that um, a father um, has a major stake in how a kid responds to the world. You know, for me, when I was a youngster, not having my dad in the house, there were things that I had to do as being the oldest in the house that I probably wouldn't have to had to do if he was in the household, if my dad was in the household. But it's hard to know what parts kind of helped me and kind of set me back, right? But just being a dad now, I can see a little bit. Like my kids are more able to be kids, for an extended amount of time, as opposed to grow up a little sooner. I mean, now they have to grow up a little sooner, just because they only have their dad in the house and their mom is not here anymore. Um, and so what I'm doing is wanting to make sure that they are well equipped to face the world and be prepared as a spouse, in their later years. So for me, I wanted to kind of talk to you all today about how it's how to be a better dad each day, right? Because every day is going to be different. There's going to be so many different scenarios that come up in your everyday life uh, with your kids, that it's going to allow you the opportunity to be better every day, right? Like one of those things is uh, chores in the morning. Like every morning for me, my kids challenge me to be a better dad because I'm having to see if I'm going to approach them in a way that is healthy, or am I going to be talking to them crazy? And if their room is not clean, then I struggle with that, because I say, listen, your room needs to be clean before you go to bed. How is it dirty when you wake up in the morning if you were supposed to be clean at night, right? But it's opportunities like that that happen all the time. So, what I want to talk to you about is like three different things that you can go with and take with you today. And if you're a mother, then this may or may not be for you. But if you have a dad in the household, or some dads that need this, I think every dad needs a little pep talk or encouragement every now and then, and sometimes every day. Excuse me. But I would say one of the main things that you could do for your kids and being a better dad every day is to provide that structure. You know what I mean by that is there should be a day to day list, a checklist that the kid can say, I know to do A, B, C at X, Y, and Z time. Okay, and there could be a reward for that, preferably some type of reward for that, so they can know that they have achieved what it is that you've asked of them. Whether it doesn't have to be monetarily, it could be additional time, on the computer, or it could be a trip to their favorite park, or a date with dad, or something like that. You can also have them, as far as rewards, like have them write down some of the things that would be considered rewards for them. But the no, I won't say number one, but one of the elements of being able to be a dad, a better dad every day, is to have that structure. And in that structure, make sure that you are consistent and holding them accountable to the structure that you have already put in place. Some of the things that I do is, every morning they have to, wash their face, brush their teeth, um, make sure that their room is clean. They need to make sure they eat breakfast and be ready for Bible study, you know. And then when they come to Bible study, they need to make sure they have their Bibles. One of the things I used to have them do is have a pen, but I'm not as structured or strict as I was before in that regard. And then after Bible study, then they would be getting ready for homeschooling, and they would do their homeschool, and so or their work, and I would help them with their work, and then if there was something later in the day, such as a practice or whatever, they needed to have things done before practice was to start. They needed to get they knew that they need to have their water bottle ready. They knew that they needed to have their gear on. They knew that they also needed to eat before they did any of those things, right? And so they had a routine. Now, the challenge that has been during the holiday season is that I haven't created a structure for them to lean on, and so it's maybe more frustrating for me, and that's my fault, right? So I can't blame them for that. So I haven't been as upset at them for not getting things done. They may say otherwise, but in my mind, I don't think that I have. And also, another thing that would help you be a better dad every day is to give them encouraging words. I love you. I saw what you did. I'm glad that you are talking better. Whatever it is that they have been that they did in the day, you want to make sure that you acknowledge those things, because most people remember the bad things, even if it's one bad thing that you said, more than the good things that you say. So if you say a lot of good things, encouraging words, then the harsh words or negative words won't be as bad, right? And so, or they will understand that your harsh words is still in love. Sometimes I may say something like, "What is wrong with you?" That's a negative thing, right? Because in their mind, they may be thinking like, "My dad is very disappointed in me, and something may be actually wrong with me." But every day, what I also do is I hug them. I tell them that I love them. I let them know I appreciate you for doing this. I tell them thank you for doing this. Uh, sometimes I think oftentimes I say good job uh, to something that they did. I know I can do better at it, and I will do better at it as far as giving them encouraging words. Who doesn't like to hear a good word? Who doesn't? Everybody loves to hear a good word. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Mr. Alexander? Appreciate you tuning in. You know, um, and for me, I love hearing encouraging words. So I can only imagine what my kids would think. I know, like for my youngest son, if I tell him thank you and he did a good, appreciate you for finishing your work on time, he lights up. He gets energized. He gets this jump in this bunny rabbit, this bunny rabbit celebration, and he's been doing it for a very long time. My oldest son, he get this big old smile, or this smile that he don't really want to do. He holds it, and then you gotta tell him, listen, dude, it's cool to laugh. It's all right. And then my oldest daughter, she's like, thank you. Or she won't say anything because she said it's hard for her to accept compliments. And so I told her, I said, listen, when somebody gives you a compliment, you just say thank you and you move on. And then my youngest daughter, if I tell her thank you for doing what you did, you're welcome, daddy. You know, so and it brings that smile, it gives them some that energy, and it helps them want to do uh, what it is that they've been doing more often, right? Because we're trying to build. If you're a good dad, you're trying to build qualities of what it is to be a good adult, right? There needs to be structure. There is going to be rewards and consequences for your actions. There are going to be some people that don't encourage you, but there will be some people that will encourage you. But if nobody does, you at least know that your dad um, has those words that are embedded in you, right? And then the number one thing that I've been told and have experienced from talking to or interviewing over 80 dads, or somewhere, I don't know, somewhere close to 80 dads, of what is the thing that you see helps your kid the most, as well as you being a better dad each day. I didn't necessarily ask it like that, but I asked them about what is it that you've seen, what it is that you do that helps your kids see that you love them, right? And the number one thing is, I'll give you a moment to think about it. What you think it is? What would your answer be? Okay, let's see. So for if you let's see if you can get this right. The answer would be time, right? It's something that you cannot get back, and it's something that you cannot get more of. Everyone has the same amount of time in a day. And so when you give your time to the kid, they see the value that you have placed on them and your relationship with them. Um, so the dads that I've talked to, some of the ways that they have spent time with the kid was just sit in the room with him. Some of them build Lego sets with him. Some of them go to their games. Some of them took them to a game. For us, for me, I could take my kids to the library, and they'll be astounded with that, excited about that because they enjoy reading, and just going and getting out the house to go to the library is a big deal. Or taking them to the mall just to look around and walk around and see what it is that what they like, you know. Talking to them about their favorite book, about their favorite movie. I introduced my sons to real estate and talking to them about what they've watched. My oldest daughter, she likes Five Nights at Freddy's. So when she comes to a point in her book, she comes to me and talks to me about it. So that means I know she wants my time, right? And so one of the things that I did was look up some things about Five Nights at Freddy so that I could have an idea what she's talking about. And when I told her some of the things, I mean, I may have done it like twice, maybe three times, about Five Nights at Freddy, watching some videos, and I told her some things, and she was excited. She said, "Thank you, Daddy, for looking into that. I think that's really cool." So any type of way that you could spend time with your kid is going to be the number one way that you can improve and being a better dad every day. And every day you should figure out a way to spend some type of time with your kid. If you're out of the house, then you need to call them. You can write them a letter. If they're old enough, you can text them. You can send them an email. you can uh, you can do a voice text. Anything that would allow them to hear and see you doing your best to be present, because they want the approval. They want to uh kids want the approval of their fathers. Yes, their moms, yeah, obviously, but their dads. It's something about having the um what is it? It's something about having your dad in your corner, and you know that he's there in your corner, that he's looking out for you, he's protecting you, he's wanting you to be great. So I would challenge you as a dad, if you have not been in your kid's life, there's no excuses anymore. Technology has made it possible. And if you have a difficult mom, baby mama, well, you knew that she was difficult. You dealt with her at some point to make a baby, right? So you need to figure out the best way to get in touch with your kid. I don't want to hear no excuses, right? And if you're around, hey man, listen, if you're around dudes that's not taking care of they kid or talking to their kid, you know what I'm saying? Then you need to say something, right? You need to say something about that. Any books that you would suggest for young black men trying to maneuver through life? For me, Marlo, I would always say uh, the Bible is a very good one. Another one would be I would say, what's the name of the book? Trying to maneuver through life. The reason why I would say the Bible is my number one, okay, is because it gives structure. It talks to you about how to talk to your kid. Deuteronomy 6, I believe, talks about how you should talk to them about the word every day, and talk to them about life as well every day. Uh, I don't know any other books but I could definitely look them up. You know, but for me, that's why I always go to, as well as I talk to other dudes that's getting it done. You know, because every book is not for everyone, right? But I do know that if I talk to enough men or dads um, that are in their kids' life, then I'll get a better understanding of what I can do in my kids' life. So for me, what I did, I started interviewing dads, and that became the book for me, and it changed how I maneuvered with my kids. Case in point, before I started the Humble Dad channel, I asked my kids what would they rate me as a dad, and they said they gave me a 6 out of 10. Right, that hurt, but it was like, okay. Well, that's what they say. And then 2 months into it, I started listening to the dads and what they were doing and how they was communicating with their kids. Um, and I changed the way that I talk to my kids. I changed how I spent time with them. Uh, Made it more of a positive experience as opposed to me being the disciplinarian all the time. You know, I smile with them, laugh with them. Um, we even did a thing. If you haven't listened to me before, we do this thing that my youngest son made up. It's called Hug Wars. Where you hug as long as whoever. What is it? We hug. We start off as a hug, and then you try to get the person off of you. And the person that is holding on last is the winner. And sometimes it lasts a little longer than others. But I don't necessarily have a particular book, but I do have a particular book. I don't have another book outside the Bible that I could recommend right now. You know, uh, but I may be writing a Humble Dad book in the near future. That may help with some of those questions. And so I just wanted to take a moment of my time and your time to kind of give you an idea of how to be a better dad each day. Now there are plenty others, right? But I just wanted to give you three, and those three are structure. You know, hey Miss Lady, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Um, the three that I would say is structure, encouraging words, and time. Right? If you can do those things, you'll become a better dad each day. And so with nothing else to be said, I appreciate you all for rocking with me. Stay tuned. Things are going to be happening for the Humble Dad podcast here in the near future. So let the people know. You can like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. And until then, we out of here. Deuces.